The first time you open Maya, you should see a big window here. This is called a viewport. Maya opens with the perspective viewport massing the screen. Now, I can tell that this is a perspective viewport in a couple of ways. First, down at the bottom, there's a little line of text that says persp for perspective. This is referred to as the camera name. Second, over here on the side, I can see my coordinate system icon. I can see all three axes. That's Y pointing up, X to this side, Z to this side. So there's X in red, Y in green, and Z in blue. Third, if I look at this grid, this box here appears to be bigger than this box here. This is because of a thing called perspectival distortion. Anything that uses perspectival distortion causes objects that are closer to the camera to appear to be larger than objects that are further away. The viewport perspectival distortion is highly accurate. It's mathematic rather than being something like what our eyes see. Our eyes are curved surfaces, and we tend to have a little bit more distortion than what Maya does by nature. We'll talk about that more when you get to the Maya 3 lighting and rendering class. For you, the important thing to remember is that things that are closer will appear to be larger than things that are further. That doesn't mean that they're different sizes. When I'm in the perspective viewport, I can move the camera three different ways. First, I can rotate the camera, like so. To do this, I'm holding down the Alt key on my keyboard and then left-clicking and dragging. If you are on a Macintosh computer, that is going to be the Option key. Option, left-click and drag. And on a PC, that will be Alt, left-click and drag. If I want to move the camera, I can hold down that Alt or Option key again, and I can click down on the middle mouse button. That will let me move side to side or up and down. So this is a camera pan here, side to side, up and down. Now, the middle mouse button may be a new concept for some of you. I hope that you're all using a 3-button mouse. A 3-button mouse consists of a left click, a right click, and a scroll wheel. The scroll wheel, you've probably never done this before, but you're going to do this today. The scroll wheel can be depressed like a mouse button. So if I scroll the scroll wheel, you see I'm getting this kind of stepped zoom. That is a scroll of the scroll wheel. As a mouse button, if I hold down Alt, click down on the scroll wheel, and hold it down, that's going to let me pan the camera. So again, this is a weird one, but anytime I want to pan the camera, I'm going to press Alt or Option, click down on the scroll wheel like it's a mouse button, and drag. The scroll wheel is considered the middle mouse button. If you were thinking you could get through this class with a touchpad, no, you really can't. You do need that mouse because you need the middle button. If you're using a tablet with a pen, like a Wacom tablet, I believe that they do have a third mouse button option for the pen, but you're going to have to set that up yourself. So far as I'm concerned, everyone in this class is going to have a mouse with a scroll wheel, and we will be able to use that scroll wheel as a middle button. So far to move through the interface, Alt or Option left click to rotate, Alt or Option middle click to pan, To zoom, I have two options. The first is that I can scroll the scroll wheel, but this gives me a stepped zoom, not a smooth zoom. If I hold down the Alt or Option key again, and I right-click, that's going to give me a very smooth, even zoom. So you can see how nice and smooth that looks. That's my Alt or Option right-click, as opposed to my scroll wheel, which looks very jerky. Generally, when I'm modeling, anytime I want to get a different view, what I do is I just hold down my Option key, and then I go through my mouse buttons until I find what I'm looking for. The other thing I'll say is that as I'm doing this, I do want to keep an eye on my coordinate system icon, because a lot of people will just move a little bit too fast, and now the problem is it looks perfectly normal on the grid, but if I look over at my coordinate system icon, I can see that I am upside down. So as you're going through with your Alt or Option key depressed and you are moving through your three mouse buttons, just remember to keep an eye on your coordinate system icon. Okay, I will pause this video here, and in the next one we will talk about how to move outside of the perspective viewport.